And on the last half a mile, I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I felt like toppling over. I felt like stopping, and I was like, there's this tree at the end of the road that I mark as my finish line, right? But if you, as a person, say, okay, when it gets hard, you're gonna give up. I'm gonna give up. I can't be bothered. I can't. Your mind will have a give up mentality. Welcome everybody. My name is Ruth, and here on this channel I introduce you to God through various ways. Today will be a little different because I will be doing an unscripted presentation where I'll just be talking to you about an experience I had and how it changed me and how it helped me along my spiritual walk. For the persons who are watching and who are just starting their Christian walk, you've just started to walk with God, I'm here to tell you that it will not be easy. It will not be easy. There will be times that will rock you. Times where you say, oh my goodness, I can't go on anymore. Because the devil, he doesn't want you to walk with God. So he will find everything there is to discourage you. I remember a few years ago, I gained some weight and my diet was poor, and I developed a stomach condition where it was hard for me, and I made a decision, right, to change my lifestyle and to exercise. And I must say, when I started on my own. So I started to walk in the mornings, turn into jogging in the mornings, and then I started to incorporate some core workouts, right, along with that cardio. And when I started, it was so rough. It was so rough. My muscles pained me. It was so difficult. Sometimes I felt like stopping. And initially, I was on and off, but there came a point where I started to remain consistent. So I remained consistent with it. And I would wake up in the morning and I would go out there and I would run, do my runs, do my cardio, and I would do it when it was cold, because where I was at the time was very cold. When the mornings are cold, I go out there. When it's mucky, I would go out there. When I feel tired, when I feel like, oh, I don't want to go out there, I go out there, right? So I shut up my mind and I say, okay, I'm doing this. And I would go out there. And eventually I saw results where my health was improved and my body was toned and all of that. And I gained all those benefits. And while in that process, right, I think I did it for about, it was some months, like 6-7 months, going up to a year, all that I was consistent with that part of my life. And what I realized that type of consistency where I pushed past the breaking point, it spilled over into different aspects of my life, into my studies, where I started to study, where I organized my space, where I realized that I had an agenda, where I wasn't just wasting away my life, I had some purpose to it. And one aspect of my life, right, the most important part that it spilled over into was my spiritual journey, my spiritual walk. And that was about the same time when I started, right, to become very serious about my spirituality, my walk with God and all of that. And it became stronger. So there were times when I didn't feel like reading the Bible. And for you also, I know as Christians or as new Christians, there are times when you don't feel like reading. You don't feel like praying. You don't feel like, sometimes you wake up, oh, I don't want to go to church. You're tired. And your neighbor, I don't know if you have a mean neighbor or friend where you don't feel like loving them. You don't feel like sharing with them and those things that the Bible speaks about that we're supposed to do. Those things. You don't feel like it, but it all boils down to that. Making up your mind. You make a decision. And what I realized one morning when I was walking by myself, I realized something very important. It just came to me. The power of the will, your will power, right? You will yourself to do things. So when I had woken up and I was tired, I still willed myself out of bed and say, okay, I'm going to walk. In the spiritual journey, when you don't feel like strengthening your prayer life, you don't feel like reading that Bible or something like that, you will yourself to do it. You say, okay, I will worship in the mornings. So even if it is cold, I'm going to wake up. Even if I'm tired, I'm going to wake up. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to do it. And that's how you grow with God. Some of the sins that you like to do, everyone have some sins that the devil knows is your weakness. They call it your weakness. So when the devil come and tempt you with your weakness, okay, say, okay, Ruth, I want you to go down to the store and I want you to just overeat on ice cream because I love food. And you say, you go and you indulge, or you control the power of your will and you say, I will not go there. And it comes in now to your spiritual life now. When we talk about sinning against God, disobeying God, you have to make up that decision and said, I will not sin. I will not sin against God. And you say, I will follow him. So I realize now that that type of consistency that I maintained, that part of my life, that it was revolutionary. And I am now implementing it in my life, in the different aspects of my life, even my spiritual life. And I would encourage you, for you, it might not be exercise. It might be something else, right? You remaining consistent in one thing in your life. Even if it's like reading a book a month, right? Even if it's changing your diet, maintaining your garden, keeping your house clean, something that you remain consistent and you train your mind. And something I should have said earlier is that the mind, when I talk about the power of the will, the mind, it's like a muscle. It can be compared to the muscle. When you train the muscle, it gets stronger and it gets stronger. And if you train your mind to will yourself to do the right thing, it will automatically be the right thing. But if you, as a person, say, okay, when it gets hard, you're going to give up. I'm going to give up. I can't be bothered. Your mind will have a give up mentality. And when you reach those points in your spiritual walk when faith has to chip in, where you have to stand up for God, you will fall. So this presentation or this video, I'm just encouraging somebody. You might be struggling with a sin. You might be struggling with something that I'm talking about your spiritual walk. You might be struggling with a sin. You might be struggling to finish the Bible. You might be struggling to improve your prayer life, fasting, something, going out to church, sharing with your neighbors, things like those that the Bible, your anger, being meek, being kind, things like those that you're struggling with. You can try and implement this that I've introduced to you, the power of the will. Find something to train that willpower to do the thing, even when it's hard, even when you don't feel like doing it. Do it, because it is the right thing to do. And in the spiritual journey, the devil, he will play with that willpower. And if he gains control over that, then we will be lost. So I encourage somebody, I've said a lot in this video. And the inspiration that I got the inspiration this morning when I was jogging. And on the last half a mile, I was so exhausted. I was so tired. I felt like toppling over. I felt like stopping, and I was like, I was breathing fast and all of that. And I saw the tree. There's this tree at the end of the road that I mark as my finish line, right? And when I saw the tree, I'm like, the finish line is inside, Ruth. You can't stop here. You have to reach your finish line. And even though my legs, my feet, they could hardly come off the ground, I kept on. And I made it. I didn't do a video of that, but I wish I did. I made it to the finishing line, and when I reached here, I dropped on the ground. But what happened? You made it. That's what it is when we're on this walk to heaven, to this Christian walk. It will be hard, and the devil will rock you because you want to push you out. But you see, when I reached, I finished, and I sat there, and then a minute I felt so new. I was like, if I had given up, you wouldn't have felt that feeling. So all these that we're going through, keep at it. And there are scriptures that encourages the soul. When David was weak, he encouraged himself in the Lord. You encourage yourself because there are scriptures that encourages you on the journey. You're not alone. I mean, this is just one perspective. I mean, I should have been on the other perspective to say that you're not alone on the journey. Even though it's hard, you're not alone. So I hope you're encouraged from this short presentation or this presentation. And for the new viewers, consider subscribing and sharing the video also. And for returning viewers, thank you for keep on watching. And I'm always happy to meet you. And thank you for watching again. And I hope to meet you very soon. Bye.